Watch out, Reg. Move your butt. Hi.
Hey.
Ooh. Hello.
I'm still in my PJs.
I'm going to stay in dark because he's sleeping right next to me.
Aha. Hi, Torie. Hello.
Ah. Hey, Hayden.
That's Miss Sarah, and that's Miss Torie, and Miss Jess is hiding back there. Hi, Charlotte.
Got bedhead too.
All the kiddos. Oh my goodness.
Legit.
Do you want to work on neck?
That's good. Hook me up.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I like it. Oh my goodness. Okay. So you guys get to see me post workout.
Job, dude.
I'm a little a mess, but that's all right.
That's awesome. Way to get it done.
Well, it was funny because so we have a group meeting at like a playground, literally within like, I don't know, a couple 20 feet maybe of the barn. So we've got a group coming on Sundays now, which is really nice. So I have a little more motivation on Sundays to get my butt up,
Yeah.
which is good. Good. Okay, so
Charlotte's eating my coconut oil. Go.
that's kind of what we're rolling with today. Is that where we're at? So we've done before, like the neck drills where you're on the ground and you're kind of like rolling around. Were either one of you here for that one? Okay. Ha, perfect. So whenever you're dealing with neck issues, and I'm assuming that your neck issues are probably more like at the base. Yes? No?
Yes.
Most?
A little bit, and then like a little bit like right underneath that occipital.
Okay. And do you ever feel any kind of like shooting pain or discomfort down that arm or down the back from that
Yes.
side?
Yeah.
So when you go to move, so if you were, see if I can set this up without knocking my phone over. So if you go to move your head down, how far can you go before you feel it?
Right there.
Okay. And
So like,
bring your head back up. If you imagine pushing your chin in and then go down faster, or you can go further. Like, does the pain come on faster, or can you actually go further?
I can go further actually, because yeah.
Good. That is the correct answer.
Okay.
And I only say that because it just puts your head in a better alignment position.
Yeah.
So if you can do that, that gives us a really good indication that it is soft tissue versus like you needing an adjustment or something like that. If that made it worse, then I would be saying you need to make an appointment with your chiropractor.
That's good to know. I'm making notes.
So that lets you know that what you are feeling. So if it made it worse, that is a good indication that C1, C2 is not gliding appropriately.
Yeah.
And that is where you would need the adjustment. So you can do the same test, and you should do the same test, turned at a 45-degree angle to either side. So you turn your head to 45 degrees, bring your neck down, and then you push your chin in and do the same thing. Good?
It's not bugging me at all right now. So it's like the mechanic with the, you know, you take your car to the mechanic and it's not doing that anymore. That's what's happening right now. I feel great.
Your body's like, ha ha ha. All good.
Yep.
Okay, so then the next thing that you're going to test is going to be how far down your ear can reach towards your shoulder. So with your head in neutral, meaning like, I mean, you can push your neck back, but most of the time, like you're going to kind of sit where you're sitting, and then you're just going to see how far you can go. And if you guys can tell, this is my worst range. So that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Good. And then the other side.
And it's crunchy.
Mm-hmm. So that is generally most people's like worst range, because no one works on lateral head movement, or meaning like this way. Your spine should be able to move that way, your neck should be able to move that way, but it's a very neglected position and you need it for a lot of things. So a lot of times shoulder issues are really neck issues and vice versa, because it's all kind of connected. So looking for a flat place to lay down. This is what happens when I do this outside. Hang on a second. I'll just go on the playground. It's a good thing I don't have anything else to do today, because I'm about to get quite dirty. Okay. So the reason, so I should first say, you're going to do some drills laying down. And the reason why we're doing them laying down is it gives you a very true measure of how your neck would move with zero gravity and or balancing issues being a part of it. So when you're on the ground, the idea being that your body doesn't have to work as hard because it's already on a stable surface, and so it will release more. So it's also the place where your nervous system is going to feel the safest. So your nervous system is what is responsible for those pain signals. They are your warning system, right? So that's the way the body says, nope, that's a bad idea. If you can lay on the ground and produce a larger range of motion than you could standing up, that is a good indication that the pain you're feeling standing up is because, for whatever reason, your body does not feel like it can safely go in that range. Then you just have to figure out why. But if you can produce the same amount of pain or the same amount of sensation on the ground, it could be something more structural, or it could be something that you're going to need someone else to help you work out. Like, just because like it may not be something that self-care is going to cut it with. You might just need external help. But anyway, so that's your good indicator. If you can produce a larger movement without pain on the ground, it's probably something you can work out on your own. If you can't, it still hurts, it's still there's still discomfort, then it's time to make an appointment. Okay, so you don't have to follow along, but you can if you want to. I will show you what they look like on the ground. All right, so laying on the ground, can everybody hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Good? Okay, awesome. All right, so laying on the ground, you're gonna make yourself as floppy as you can. You're gonna hook your fingers underneath your neck, and you're gonna hook into that little notch right below your head. And you're gonna keep your neck nice and soft and relaxed, and you're gonna curl your fingers towards the opposite armpit. So once your finger is kind of in that notch, you're just going to curl your head towards the opposite armpit. When you do that, your neck should not be helping. So it should be Your neck is completely passive. Your fingers are doing all of the work. And I'll show you what it looks from this side. So that's step number one. That's your first kind of indicator of, does it go easily? Is it crunchy? Does it feel good? Does it feel horrible?
Is the goal to get my head, like my face in my armpit?
The goal is to get as far as you can passively, just as far as you can. It doesn't matter where you get to. The point is, can you do it passively without pain? Yeah. It's good. So passively without pain, meaning your body isn't trying to guard it, is good. So you're gonna ideally do that for a couple of minutes. So we'll roll through this, and you can do 5, 10, 15 at a time, but basically you're just passively rolling your body through that range of motion and allowing your head to just kind of flop with control side to side.
I keep like slapping myself in the face with my armpit. I'm glad you guys can't see my pit.
Okay.
So just kind of roll back and forth for a couple of minutes.
No, Bill.
It totally helps when you've got kids
Yeah.
around you.
And dogs.
Hi, Charlotte.
Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do, if you can roll through that and there's no pain whatsoever, then we're gonna roll through some repositioning drills, and these are just going to help you kind of reestablish that base. So think about it like this. So when your head's moving on that axis point, if your base is solid, it should be able to rotate quite a bit without those two joints should be able to rotate quite a bit. When they start to lose rotation, you start to lose mobility, or you start to feel pain, that's an indication that you're not quite on your axis. Like you're not quite where you need to be sitting in order to move freely. For whatever reason. Like there's lots of different reasons why that could happen, and we're not going to get into that. But the point is, you're probably not sitting on your axis quite in the middle. So you can reposition that by doing these drills, and literally it's just like what we did for the test, only you're on the ground. So you're going to be on the ground, and you're going to imagine, and you can touch your chin if it helps you, or you can just imagine it. Someone is driving your chin into the ground, and you're going to hold it for a second or two, and then you're going to relax, and then you're going to drive, and then you're going to relax, and you're going to do somewhere between 5 and 10, and then you're going to shift so that you're doing them at your left 45 degree and then your right 45 degree, but same thing. Chin is just driving into the ground. So then once you've done that, you're going to do the same thing, only you're going to imagine someone is driving your forehead into the ground. So you can touch your forehead if you need to for like the proprioceptive benefit, but instead of driving your chin into the ground, you're going to drive your forehead into the ground. And then you're going to do it at either 45-degree angle.
Ah, okay. So when you drive your forehead into the ground, your chin automatically goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. We're
That's
building
trying to
on
figure it
it still.
What's up, dude? What's her deal?
All right, so then while we're on the ground, since we're here, we'll do a little massage work. Massage work generally works better on the neck when you are not having to hold your head up. So think about like when you get a neck massage from your significant other, or if you've ever had one where you're sitting up, your body's still having to create tension in order to hold your head up. So you never really completely get a release in the neck. So you're better off doing it when you completely can lay down. And when you do it to yourself in this position, the best thing to do is kind of take the pointer and the middle finger, like finger pads, and kind of hook them into the notches, like right below the bottom of the skull. And I like to put my thumbs like directly behind my ears because there's actually like a nice little pressure point there too. But that's kind of up to you. Not everybody likes that. And then you're just gonna roll in circles. I like to do alternate circles, but you can roll circles at the same time. And you just kind of let your head flop and let your fingers do the work.
That is so nice.
Isn't that nice?
I never thought of doing that lying down, but you're right. It becomes work when you're sitting up.
Right, exactly. And it's not, I mean, like, this is exactly what your body wants. When it's giving you those signals, it's like, get close to the ground. This is where I'm happy.
Yeah, man.
So if you do this, if this is like, you're in a pain flare up and you go through this, do the chins, like the chin and the forehead pushes, let's call them pushes, before you start massaging, and then again after you start massaging, because in that massaging, you're going to relax everything again. So when you pick your head up, it's going to feel like it weighs 1,000,000 pounds. So go through the reactivation drills again before you sit back up.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also, while you're down here, get into like that meet where the shoulder and the neck meet up. So you can do that too. And that, in my opinion, works the best when you do opposites, because your arm's not like in this funky position. Because if you try and touch your own like junction point between your shoulder and your neck, that actually is the muscle that also needs to activate in order to get your arm up there. So if you go to the opposite one instead, you can actually work on the one that's already relaxed. So like I'll take my fingertips and I'll grab pretty deep into that muscle and kind of let my fingers kind of sink in, and then just pull my arm across the body, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And you can head with it, or you can move your head against it, and it'll create kind of like a different feeling. And you can play with like where that finger pressure is. Like right now, my shoulders are a little bit more lit up than my neck. So like I'm moving closer into my shoulder blade and kind of like those sticky spots at the top of the shoulder. So that's just kind of personal preference. But yeah, work on the opposite shoulder from the arm that's up and moving around. And that just gives you the chance to be completely relaxed on the side that you're actually working on. And you can also kind of like find trigger points with your fingertip and then just shake your hand and that finger and that trigger point, and it kind of like will help you like sink into that trigger point a little bit faster, adding a little vibration to it. And then we do the other one. And even if only one side of your neck or one shoulder's hurting, do both of them. Because 9 times out of 10, you'll get to the other one and go, oh, I didn't even realize that one was sore. You also kind of have to remember, like, your body can only send you so many pain signals at once. So you might have, tweaked both, like, not say tweaked, but like both of them might not be super happy with you, but the louder one is always going to be the one that you think of first. It doesn't necessarily mean the other one doesn't need some attention. Okay. All right, so the other thing that I will often do, and this is not great for everybody, but for some people it works quite well. So I'll flip over. Ooh. Oh. So I'm a little more tired after that workout than I thought I was. All right, so I'll flip over and we'll do some head nods and some head rolls. This, if you have chronic neck problems, a lot of times it's just because your neck muscles aren't strong enough to withstand the amount of load that they're carrying all day. So if this is something you haven't done before, be really gentle with yourself. So I'm basically in like a child's pose, for lack of a better way. Like my butt is touching my heels. I'm just kind of all collapsed down. So the rest of my body is not having to work very hard. If you want to make it harder, you can lay full out, or you can stretch your arms out further. So the more your arms are back by your body, the easier it's going to be, because your arms are and your shoulders are going to be more supportive. The further out your arms are, the harder it's going to be, because you are using your neck to lift your neck and your chest. Make sense? So in this position, you're going to do rolling nods, and you're going to do them only in a pain-free zone. So at any point that you feel discomfort or pain, back off a little bit and then stay in that area. So just don't push into any kind of pain. Also, while you're doing them, keep your mouth shut, rest your tongue on the roof of your mouth, and breathe through your nose. And the reason why I say that is this is an excellent indicator for, if you've never done them before, when you breathe in that manner, you are helping your parasympathetic nervous system turn on. So like your rest, digest nervous system turn on. It's an excellent indicator of when your body starts to feel distressed, because you will automatically try to open your mouth to breathe. That is your first indicator of stress in the body, right? So if you haven't done them before and you may not feel like you're working very hard, but all of a sudden you can't breathe without opening your mouth, it's a good indicator that your body's going, oh, that's really hard for my neck to do. And that just lets you know that you're a little bit past your threshold. These kinds of movements shouldn't be stressful. They should just feel like you're kind of like greasing the grooves. So if you start to breach that threshold of like, we're now starting to go into something that is a little more stressful for the body, then you're just diving in too hard, and it's not going to produce the results that you want, because the nervous system is going to freak out and go, no, that's bad. So that's kind of your gauge there. Okay, so first one's first. This is gonna be fun because I'm rolling into the dirt, but it's all right, it's fine. So you're gonna start you're gonna touch your head to the ground, and then you're gonna touch your nose to the ground. Then you're gonna touch your chin to the ground. Then you're gonna roll up, and then you're just gonna repeat the process. So your head should just kind of move in a rolling nod. Starts with the forehead, and then reaches up, and then you come back down. And if you feel your back engaging, if you feel like your erectors along your spine engaging, that's good. They're supposed to do that. You are connecting the neck into the back. And so you're helping that support system light up. That's a good thing. It should not there should not be any kind of like nerve tingling or pain sensations. That shouldn't be happening. So if that happens, you're just probably going a little too far. So yeah, so really try to exaggerate that, like curve and then flatten out and then curve the other way. I'm gonna adjust this a little bit so you can see me better.
So I'm sort of wiping my face on the ground.
Yes. And then you're just doing it in more exaggerated rolls every time. Eventually, you should be able to even like feel like your shoulders are rolling around your rib cage because your rib cage is shifting so much. Yes. Good. Good. As long as it stays fluid and you're not starting to get like choppy, then you're doing it right. Good. Good. So once you've done a couple, and honestly, like you can do as little as 5 and get some benefit out of it. So don't do so much that you start to get taxed, but just do enough where like, you're like, okay, I feel like I did something. Now you're going to go the opposite way. So everything's going to come down, curl under, and then come back up.
This is a little more difficult.
Yes. So go slow and take your time. The slower you go, the more chance you're giving your body to kind of get acclimated to the movement. So don't rush it. Good. Good. Okay, so then once you've done a couple of those, we're gonna stay here and you're gonna twist and try and touch like ear to the sky and then ear to the sky without dropping or lifting your head. So head stays right in line with the spine and you're just twisting as far as you can. Yep, good. Good. Any pain with that?
Just stiffness, not pain.
So you just roll through until that stiffness starts to release. Just nice and slow. Keep your breathing consistent. When you come down in the middle of the transition, think about tucking your chin a little bit, and that will help that alignment so that you're moving on your axis. So if that's where you're feeling some resistance, that might be just where you stay. So you'll go through that pattern until you hit this one, and like this will be kind of like your main grease the groove for your neck kind of drills. If you can go through that drill and you're like, I still don't feel anything, then you up the ante by adding in flexion and extension in those twisted positions, which your head and neck can also do, but it's a much harder movement because you're adding end range on like multiple axes, or multiple points. So like instead of just doing flexion and extension, you're doing rotation, flexion, and extension, or just doing rotation, you're adding all of the elements together. Does that make sense? So you don't go to that point until your body tells you that it's ready, meaning all of that stiffness is gone and you can do the drill before without resistance. If you can do the drill before without resistance, go to that one. Sorry, I got hair all flopping around. And then if you can do that one, then you fully go into like circles. The circles, which everybody does, but honestly, everybody's not usually ready to do, can be like a flare-up point for most people because they haven't tested out each one of the ranges individually. They've gone immediately to fully kind of throwing it all together. And the downside to that is you don't know where the pain is coming from. It's just going to start. And two, it generally gives you that feeling of needing to protect your neck when you might have just needed to go into that movement a lot slower. So those are all precursors to being able to fully rotate your head 360 degrees, or as close as we can get, which is what you would normally see like in a warm up for whatever. If you can do that in this position, which is still a fairly safe position for the nervous system, then try doing it when you're kneeling, which, believe it or not, doing it when you're kneeling does sometimes produce different results. So doing it when you're kneeling is actually more stressful on your nervous system because you have less points of contact with the ground. So in a kneeling position, go through the exact same drills, see what happens. If you can do that, stand up, do the same thing. Most of the time, just going through that on the ground will be enough for your body to go, oh, okay, we're okay. The other thing that you can do, if you are not in a position where you are somewhere that you can like flop on the ground, because sometimes like that's just not practical, you can lean up against a wall. So leaning up against a wall will produce something similar because you can put all your body weight against the wall, and then you go through the neck drills that we just did when you're laying down against the wall, and sometimes, most of the time, you can get a similar reaction from the brain where it calms those pain sensors down and your neck feels like it relaxes and it releases. Rarely that won't happen, but for the most part, usually just leaning up against the wall will produce the same results. So yeah, so that's pretty much, I mean, you can take care of most neck pain that way, as long as, like I said, you're initially going through those assessments and you're not finding anything sticky that would indicate, you know, needing extra help. Yeah. So is that helpful? Does that kind of help you guys out?
Awesome.
Good.
Is awesome. Would you do me a favor and just do a recap of the exercises again so I can I was so focused on doing them. If you could just say what we just did, I'd find it helpful.
I'll do you one better. I will post them because I do have videos of all those.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'll post them, and that way you guys will have a sequence to follow. I do not have a video. Actually, that would be a good thing to do today. I don't have a video of them progressing from laying down to that quadruped position. Just because I haven't taken a video of it yet, but yeah. So laying down, and then you just move to all fours. Well, I mean, and you're all compressed, so you're not really on all fours, but you get the idea. But yes, I will post those, and that way you have that as a reference, and then you just got it, and you don't have to worry about remembering it.
That would be awesome because I was so focused, and I feel really good right now, and that was so quick. Like that's something I can do,
so
and it feels good.
Yeah. This is what I teach. I don't really teach strength training. This is literally what I teach.
I love it.
I don't actually have a name for it yet. So like when people ask me, they're like, what's your online coaching like? And I'm like,
Girl, I feel you. It took us a minute to figure out how to explain what we do.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, so my group that meets on Sundays, like we do more like what what Christy has taught me how to do, or like we'll do basic like push, pull, you know, pick up off the ground stuff. But the majority of my people, it's just like getting you out of pain well enough that you can do the thing that you want to do. Like I'm not a coach for the thing you actually want to do. I'm just trying to get you to the point where like you can do that thing without pain.
It's so important though. Hey, I want to get a picture of us. Hold on.
Okay.
But it's so important because it's hard to explain even what I need. But this is what I need, like what you're talking about. So I don't know how to explain it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When I figure out how to explain it, I'll let you know.
Rock on. Rock on. Hey, Jess, if you can come on camera for a quick second, it'd be awesome. If not, no worries.
Get down.
Nope. I think I'm just.
And I'm sorry for all the visual disturbance.
We loved it. Are you kidding me? It was epic. Oh, hello there. How are you?
Good morning.
All
I
right.
love the chickens in here. This is so cute.
Everybody's saying cheese. All right, let's make sure nobody's blinking. Oh, how cute are we this morning? Thank you so much, Torie.
Absolutely. I'm so glad it worked out. And I remembered to come on.
It was epic. Thank you very much.
You're so very welcome. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Sunday, ladies.
All right.
Thank you.
Happy Sunday.
Take care.
All right. Bye.